We're
We are
live!
live coming in. And this is great because we're coming in from two different places, but at the same time. Don't you love technology? Hey, this is my name is Jason, and this is Lynn Robinson. Lynn Robinson. We're talking about goals and how goals can be very impactful to your life, and actually help you not only in your business life but in your personal life as well.
Absolutely. Hey, this is Lynn. I'm assuming you stopped, so I'm going to start talking.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
so today huh? We have that crazy delay, so I'm just going to watch your mouth. So today we're going to talk about setting goals and like setting effective goals and how we're going to be able to use those goals to get ourselves to a better place. Sometimes when you set out to do something, the simplest thing to do is set a goal and follow that goal. But just because it's a simple thing to do doesn't mean that we always do it. And sometimes that kind of leads us to a dead end because we're not doing the things that we need to do daily to get to where we want to be. We want to set that huge end goal, but we need to make smaller goals to actually get there. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, you know what? And you mentioned the smaller goal. I think that's really important because I think as much as we have that end result in mind. Like we know we want, we know what we want, and then we
Yeah.
kind of set the path to getting there. But when you cross a small line of success, it's important to celebrate that. Important to kind of take the time out to pat yourself on the back to make yourself feel good about yourself. If it's taking your wife out, your girlfriend out, your boyfriend out, your husband out, whatever the case may be, going out with the kids, doing something fun with the kids, um, and just kind of getting out and just celebrating the small wins, because the small wins are what's going to keep you going towards the larger wins.
Yeah.
And me personally, I like to, when I think of goals, everyone's talking goals, goals, goals. It kind of takes me back to when I was in high school, or actually maybe even junior high school, when in these leadership classes when they talked about setting smart goals and smart, achievable, measurable, results oriented goals and all that good stuff, right? But as I got kind of got older and kind of moved from the corporate world into the business, back into the business world, being an entrepreneur. I wanted something to excite me. I wanted to be excited about what I was doing. I wanted to be excited about what I had going on. I wanted to be excited about the plans that I have set for myself. So I've kind of shifted from calling my goals goals, but I call them dreamlines, because I think we get lost. Let's get lost in a lot of this is that we forget the dream, and when you forget the dream, you kind of forget to be the person that you want to be. And so put all that together, I set my goals as far as being and doing. Who do I want to be, and what do I want to do, and then how do I accomplish these things? And I set forth my goal, my goal path this way, because I think you have to have the joy and excitement for whatever it is that you're doing, because you won't wake up in the morning and you won't want to do what you have to do because there's no excitement involved with it. You can. I can just remember times waking up and having to go to work. I used to work at 4 in the morning, sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning, and waking up at 1 or 3 o'clock and just saying, "Not another day." Give me 5 more minutes. How many of us have thought about that, right? But we're not excited about going to work. But if you have that excitement to go to work, that's great. But that excitement is what keeps you going. Is what keeps you driven. Is what keeps you moving in the right direction as far as getting to what you want out of life.
Mhm. Absolutely. Um, yeah. So you're um, I don't know. I just completely lost my train of thought. I was thinking of what you were saying, and then I was thinking how I was feeling the same way, like there's no excitement. And so for me, it's a little bit different because you and I actually we kind of are both entrepreneurs doing business at home, and but the way we have to do it is totally different because you're a single guy, you don't have kids, running around chasing after you all the time, and I
Yes.
do. And so for me, my goal setting might be a little bit different than yours, um, because I have to factor in like all the crazy that goes on in my household during the day, and whatever.
Yes.
And so for me, setting the goals, the tiny goals, what did you call them? Dream catchers? Dream
I call them
what?
dreamlines. Dreamlines. So I start
Dream.
from one point and then where I want to go, and then if I say, for example, you know, we have, say, if I have a goal of going to, say, Orlando, right? So I
Uh-huh.
call it a dream line, and I set a dream line, a course of how to get from this date to that date to get to where I want to go. It's just like setting a goal. I just give it a different name.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess that's what I wanted to talk about today is like kind of breaking down those goals because for me, I mean, we all have that big, huge goal that you're talking about, like if we wanted to go to Orlando or just our big picture goal. But how do we get there with the smaller goals? And so for me, it's like we have to set up like the day-to-day thing. But um, this is something that we both know about, like setting a goal, writing it out, and putting a date on it. So if you
Yes.
have your big goal, you write it down what your huge goal is, and then and you read that. For me, it's like you read that every day, like twice a day. Do you do the same thing?
I do. I do. I have. Let me show you. I have a. I have a book. I'm on my desk,
Awesome.
and I go through in the morning. Usually when I wake up in the morning. I didn't do it today. I haven't done it yet today. Usually do when I wake up in the morning.
Hold
Okay.
on. Oh, keep going. I'm
Oh,
just like I'm trying to figure out my speaker in my
oh,
car with my phone, and it's not doing it.
you know what's funny is we work online. We both have these techie online problems all the time. Because I get them all the time.
Yeah, right.
Like as you see, you don't have to be.
I
You don't
know.
have to be a genius to work from home. You don't have to be a genius to work from online. We all have technical problems. We're not technical people at all. I'm a very, you know.
No. That's why I always get you to do the setup on the Hangouts because I don't know how to do it.
Well, I tell you what, thing. It took me what I think 3 months to figure out how to set them up. I didn't have a computer at first, and because I was using it on my tablet, and I got a computer. It was just or the computer that I had wasn't working right, and had to get it was just a mess. It
Yeah,
was just a mess. Um,
yeah.
but to add on to what you're
And
saying, what's that?
oh, I would say, I'm lazy because I'm always just on my phone. I don't even do this stuff from my computer. I
well,
got to have it on the go.
well, that's the best way of doing it, right? I mean, what other kind of lifestyle would you rather have than to have your business run around what you do every day? That's what you do every day,
I
right?
know.
You know?
Yep. It's called convenience and it's called flexibility, and it works great for people like me that have kids or have to be on the move, and you're always running from here to there, and I don't have time to be sitting at somebody's job doing work because I got stuff to do that doesn't always allow me that 8-hour block of time to be sitting in someone else's job making them money.
Yes,
So
yes.
this worked for me. But okay, back on the goal thing because I know we get
Oh,
sidetracked a little bit.
all these open
All
loop.
right. Okay, I guess I'm waiting for you. Or do you want me to finish whatever I was
Okay.
saying?
I was just gonna say, I was just gonna add on to it. Is yes, add to what you're saying. Is yes, the daily day actions and being consistent with your daily day by day actions is what's important. You know,
Yeah.
that's why what you do is really important because you have your life that you have to take care of besides your business too, and you're able to incorporate the two together, but you're also able to incorporate what you have to do, your building blocks day by day, what you have to do in order to push forward. I just like for you to add on to that. Like, how do you manage the kids and the home and work at the same time? Because that's to me that is the epiphany of what we do because we only have a zone amount of time to do what we have to do, but
Yeah.
it's important because being a powerful woman as you are, you're able to handle all that, and it's really really difficult to do that because I'll give you a quick example before we go forth. Right, is okay. I remember I was trying to move. Right, I was trying to move. I was trying to run my business, and so me personally, right? Okay, I know I had things that I had to do every day, but I was so discombobulated because something else had entered my life that said, "Hey, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that," and I was so just kind of mind blowing at how you're able to handle all that and get results as far as what your positive results in front of what you're doing too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yep.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I keep on screwing around with my car because I'm burning up. It's gonna be one of those baby syndrome, dying in my car. I'm sorry. Um, anyway, yeah, it's a struggle. It definitely is a struggle, and I have to condition myself to follow through with my goals, and that's why I was saying, I want this one to be about goals and why they're important and why we need to set them, because without them, for me, I'm just like, I was like, you're talking about moving and something else jumps in and then I'm all over the place. If I don't set those goals and set those times for, okay, I need to get this, this, and this done, and I don't care what it, but this day, this has got to get done, and those are my small measurable goals, because I can tick them off. And the thing is, I used to just think, I'm going to load up my schedule. I'm going to get as much stuff as possible done today, and then we'll go from there. And I always felt like I didn't get anything done because things were getting halfway done, or I'd halfway finish a project or halfway finish a blog post or get a video done but never post it. I just kept running out of time or whatever. But now I've kind of trained myself to say, look, I can handle about 3 things in the time I can allot, for that stuff to get done throughout my day. And then I check off those 3 things. And it's great because at the end of the day, I only have 3 things to get done. And that's 3 things every day. And by the end of the week, what is that? 7 times 3, that's 21 things that I've done, 21 goals that I've met. That if I had just kept on going in the same path of like, let me see what I can get done today, I wouldn't have got those things done. I might have got like 5 things done throughout the week. But with setting the goals and putting, having my big goal down on paper, so I have my daily goals of, and I change these, they have to change every day. There's some main ones that I know I have to blog every single day. I have to do a little bit of research I have to do training every day. I mean, those are some regular goals that I set time aside for. But, there's other things like, okay, like when I want to market something, I'm going to go on this, and the other, and I'm going to market in these 3 places, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to set aside 30 minutes to an hour to get that done today. And, it's taking the small chunks and being able to work in those small chunks. You keep doing it like that, you'll eventually get to where you need to be. It's funny, I've been reading this book called The Slight Edge. I don't know if you read that one, and if you have, I'm sure I don't know, it seems like you would have, but if you haven't, that is a good one, because that is talking about doing the thing to get the result. And
Called
that is
Slight Edge.
basically what this is, just setting the goals, setting the small goals. You do the small things every day, and eventually it builds up. And before you know it, you might not see the results in front of you right away, but over time you can look back and say, holy cow, I set those goals, I followed through with those goals, and look where I am today.
Yes.
And I've seen it just, recently talking to someone about, they were asking me about my business and, oh, well, how do you get the business and how do you stay motivated to do this, that, and the other? And it's like, I do these certain things. I have to set my goals, and if I don't, I fail. But you know what? If I don't meet those goals, guess what? The next day, I'm setting those goals again, and they're going to get done,
Yes.
So, yeah, those daily goals, they add up to weekly goals, they add up to monthly goals, and pretty soon, before you know it, you turn around and you've walked this huge path, and now you're where you're at your big goal. So.
Well, you know what? It's good you say that, because it's daily consistent action that leads to the result that you want. And a lot of it, I think it has to do with belief, like having belief in what you're doing, having belief in yourself, having belief in your customers, having an all-out faith and belief in what you're doing. And I kind of talked about this yesterday, was just a lot. I talk about this a lot. A lot of people don't understand that. They don't really understand what they're getting paid for, right? Like, okay, you get paid every day. Well, if you know that you're gonna go to work and on Friday you're gonna get paid, well, yeah, that's what you expect to get paid. Then you're gonna do the work to get paid. So a lot of us I will just show up to work sometimes and get paid, right? But see, if we don't show up in our business, and if we're not consistent in our business, then we're not gonna get paid. So, you can have a set goal, right? But if you're not doing it, and if you're not making things happen, you're not putting energy or effort as far as into what you're doing, then you're not going to get paid. And if you're new and if you're starting out, you have to understand that you may not get paid the first week. Your efforts may not lead maybe paid for maybe the first 2 months, but you have to continuously work towards that because your payday is right around the corner. And if you understand that, and if you know that, and then your paydays will start to increase. One thing you talked about is just, you know what you have to do every day, and taking these steps every day leads you into the directions of that that weekly goal, that monthly goal, and then that yearly goal, and then that ultimate, till you get to the point where you want. But I think we're so caught up in, I want it now. I want it now. We're greedy. We want it now. We want it to just manifest in front of us right here and there. We just don't have the faith. But you got to have the faith in yourself and the belief in yourself first in order to make it happen. And if you continue us on this path of having day-to-day actions, and then leading to week actions, and planning out your week, and then planning out your month, and then seeing the results from what you're doing, because even though that, say for example, right, even though that you're doing something and you're not getting the result that you want, you have to continuously working to sharpen the skills to get the result that you want. Because every time you're doing something, you're creating a result. I mean, I think I kind of touched on this before, the cause and effect type thing, where you're doing something and you're affecting something. But see, you have to understand that once people see that you're consistently doing something over a period of time, then you start to build influence.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I live in redneck land.
Well, so do I. I mean, after this, I'll walk out and show you my balcony, because if you look out, I live right on the side of a mountain. Like, there's a mountain right here, right? And then there's my house, and then there's the bottom of the mountain, and there's a bunch of trees out here. So it's like I live in Northern California, but I'm still in SoCal, It's beautiful.
I forgot that you moved out to the sticks when you were talking about phone service and stuff. I'm like,
I told
now you know how I feel.
I think I told you I know phone service. And they go, oh yeah, you.
I know. I was like, oh yeah. Now you know I'm always driving somewhere to get phone service or whatever. Although I have a mini cell in my house, so that helps. But I also have kids in my house, so that doesn't.
They'll keep you entertained, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what is it? Here I had no Wi-Fi, and so finally got Wi-Fi, which is great. But last week I found my hotspot, and I was using my hotspot for the Saturday event, which was cool. So I was able to. I hooked up my computer to my TV, and I had everything on. It was great. I loved it. It was like all day just immersion in business. It was a great feeling.
That was a great training, and this is how freaking mobile I am. Because I was sitting in my house listening to it, and then I was like, my kids are there, and it kept cutting out on me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going into town. It's so funny. And I'm going to listen to it there. So I plugged into my car, and I listened to it on my way down, and then I got somewhere, and I parked. And when we had like those 10-minute, 20-minute breaks, I ran into the store and got some water, came back, plugged it back in, was taking my notes, and so I sat down for like 6 hours, like doing mini errands in the middle of stuff.
That's awesome.
It worked though. I got lots of stuff done that day, and I got a lot of good training in that day too. So.
Well, I was gonna do if I didn't find my hotspot, I was just going to go to the library and just sit in the library. Who's this weird guy sitting in the library for 6 hours? Well, that's what I was doing last week. I think I took a picture and I put it on Facebook. I was outside and I was overlooking the lake, and I took a picture of my computer and a cup of coffee, because I was just out running business, just out at the lake, beside the lake. So it's this lifestyle that we created for ourselves. It's wonderful, because it kind of really is kind of total freedom. If you got and. I'm like you. Is like I like to use my cell phone a lot of the times. Also, I sent this. I think I was talking with one of my buddies. I sent this intent of just being able to bring and to do everything from the cell phone. And that's just beautiful. That that's possible. Technology is making things possible. And anyway, I guess we're kind of going off a little bit, talking about goals.
Oh, yeah, we are. I mean, it comes back, right? It comes back to it. Yeah. I mean, I think most people, we got the main idea. you have your huge goal, but you have to set your smaller goals to attain your big goals. And you know, you're talking about that thing about like your paycheck is going to be right around the corner. I just wanted to clarify that your results are not always going to be a paycheck. Sometimes it's going to be, hey, you got a new lead, or hey, you have someone asking about your business, or you have a prospect, or someone else joined your blog. So your results aren't always going to be monetary, but those results will eventually lead to the monetary results.
Yes.
And those are great things. I know every time I get someone that replies to one of my blog posts, or just once, you know, catches up with me on Facebook, or joins me on Instagram, or I get new followers or anything like that, I'm excited. And it's so silly. I feel like a little kid's like, oh, look, I got a new follower, and I'm so excited about it, because, you know, that means that I'm actually getting out there. I'm doing what I set out to do with those small goals. You know, I set out and I make my plans for that day, and then, hey, I got a result. They might not have dropped like 50,000 in my lap, but that's okay. You know, I still have, you know, someone is still looking at my stuff. That means that my links are getting out there, and my posts are getting out there, and people are you know, traffic is coming to my site. And that's good. That's good stuff. That's all leading up. You know, you do that every single day. Those 2 or 3 followers start adding up, and then you have more, and then you're starting to make money with those people that are trying to join you, you know. And then not only that, and the funny thing is like a lot of times people are looking for, they go out and actively look for people to get, you know.
Yes.
But you keep doing the small stuff, eventually people start looking for you. You don't have to go look for anybody, because they're looking for you.
Yes.
You know, I don't know what that has to do with setting goals, but eventually, if you keep doing those goals, that's what's going to happen.
Yes, and I think, you know, you mentioned a good point as far as just being excited and getting excited about the small wins, is because that lead that came to you, right? And that's just the most beautiful thing about it, is that, you know, somebody likes to comment, or to enter their email, or to, you know, to want to contact you and find out more. That means what you're doing is working. And keep on doing it, you just get better and better and better and better with what you're doing, and it just kind of opens up a whole new world for you. You know, my thing is, I love retweets.
Retweeting.
Yes, I love when I get a retweet. You know, it's, oh my god, I got a retweet, it's so cool. You know.
I know.
It's just how dorky as it is, right?
It's because I get the same way. I'm just like, yeah, someone looked at my stuff and thought it was good enough to retweet, you know?
Definitely. And then there's a lot to that. You know, it just feels good inside, you know, and it's okay, well, I'm making a difference, you know. And and what I'm doing is working, and what I'm being taught is effective, and what I'm being taught is actually creating a result, you know. Because results, you can look at results in 2 aspects, right? You're getting results that are good results, or you're just getting a result, right? And no matter, whenever you're doing something, you're getting a result. It's just not the result that you want until you get the result that you want. You just got to work to get up to that side of the pendulum, and to where you're getting actually the results that you want. So, you know, and in a master 1,000 hours. So I was reading this book called Mastery I think it's by Gerald Green. Called a master as something that takes about 10,000 hours of doing something consistently to become a master. So when so when I worked, right, I worked for about 20 years, right, with the same company, and I was in I was in that same department for about 5 years, about 10 hours a day. You know, I'd say I was a master, but I was damn close to becoming really good at what I was doing. And to just kind of stop what you're doing and then enter in this space, you know, I knew from the beginning I can't expect myself to be what I was before, because it's a whole new skill set that I have to learn. And you know, like, we kind of stumbled upon the same information that has helped us, you know, kind of get on the right path. So no matter it is what we're doing, we're like on the right path because we have the right information. And it's really important when you have the right information, because sometimes you're fed all the wrong information. I was when I first started, I was fed the wrong information, and of course I stumbled upon the right information and made a big difference. And not only how I feel about myself, but how I feel about the product that I'm selling too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we both kind of went down that road of falling into the wrong hands of information for a little bit there. But yeah, eventually you keep plugging away at it, and you do get, it's funny because you can start to, like we were talking about before, the other day when I was talking to you, how you learn so much, and then you can figure out how to kind of weed out what's good and what's bad, and it's like, you're feeding me a line, goodbye.
Yes.
Because you can tell now because you've been doing it for a long enough time. But you're right, you can't just jump into this expecting to master it, and you have to do, I know when we do our trainings and stuff, they're always talking about you are exactly where you need to be, and sometimes you are in the grind phase, and believe me, I know what the grind phase is because I'm constantly grinding, and it took me a while to get that. It's like, I don't want to be in the grind phase anymore. I just want to get somewhere. But
yes.
And that goes along with the goals. You have to set the goals. If you want to get out of the grinding phase, you have to set the daily goals that are going to keep you moving forward so you can get out of that grind phase. And some people do it faster than others, believe me, because I'm a slowpoke. Because I'm kind of lazy sometimes. I'm a procrastinator, and I think a lot of people are. But once you get that focus and you get that goal and you start writing down your huge goal and you read it twice a day and you're like, you know what? Yeah, that's what I want. And now my brain has trained itself to know that that's what I want, and I'm going to do whatever goals I set. I'm going to do those goals because that's where I want to be in the end. This is my end goal, and I want to get there.
Yes.
But I think that, you have to have that huge end goal so that your little goals will work so that you get there. And you were talking about something about how we do stuff. You can either do it one way or the other. I mean, that was kind of like one of the lessons that goes in that book, The Slight Edge, is, we have the choice. We make choices every single day. But are you making the choices to get yourself ahead, or are you making the choices to keep where you're at? You want to be in the bottom of the pile and always complaining about your life all the time. It was, here's an example. They were talking about food. You know that if you eat cheeseburgers and French fries and you eat out all the time, you're going to get fat and sick, and you're not going to be healthy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect you because you're not going to die today from eating a cheeseburger. But later on down the line, you might be hitting those health problems, but you don't see it right now. It's not immediate, so it doesn't bother you.
Yes.
On the same token, so that's one choice. And on the same token, you know that if you do eat healthy and you juice or you eat the vegetables and the clean food, fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, you're not going to slim down and be super fit and healthy like today. But if you keep doing that, eventually over time, you're going to see those results that you wanted. You're going to slim down, you're going to tone up, you're going to be feeling the energy and stuff. And that's a huge thing about choices and goals. Like, you set those goals, but make sure that you know which goals you're setting. Are you setting goals for failure, or are you setting goals to succeed?
Yes.
So.
And that's really important, because I think a lot of times if you're not clear on that, you kind of sabotage yourself. Like you're talking about, because you kind of mentioned the diet example, and I've been here for a little over a week now, and I've really changed the way that I eat, and I'm eating more vegetables now, right? And what I notice is just my skin looks different, right? I'm like waking up in the morning and walking and all that kind of stuff, right? But it was just I kind of said, okay, I'm living in the middle of nowhere. I'm just gonna buy a bunch of food, right? That's healthy for me, and that's I still have ice cream and M&Ms, right? I love M&Ms, right? But I just limit that, man. Before I was just at it, right? But I told myself, I walked outside one day and I said, wow. I live around all these hills and dips and like all these valleys, right? What if I just woke up in the morning and walk? I can walk back. Well, I've been doing that. I didn't do it this morning because I have other stuff going on today, but I've been doing it pretty much every morning since I good to get out and be around nature for one, and you got birds flying and squirrels. It's not like me at a park. It's just cool to get out there and be around the things. But then I know that I said, okay, how can I get in a little bit better shape without doing extenuous exercise? Well,
Yeah.
get out and walking, and then watching and taking things on that level, because a month from now I'm gonna be different. 2 months from now, if I keep on doing it, you should be a whole different person. And it goes the same with anything that you want out of life. Is if you just sit down and get clear upon what you want, and you know what you want, and then you kind of get clear on the inside with what you want, and kind of condition your mind, like you said, as far as what you want. And then the actions that you take, you won't sabotage yourself, because your beliefs are a little bit different. Once your beliefs are different, your subconscious actually works with your line, and your subconscious works with you, and you can skyrocket and take off, and you'll start to see different results, because you're looking for different things, because your subconscious mind is actually helping you without you even knowing it. It's helping you find these things, and you're picking up on them as you go about, maybe not even knowing it, right? As you're going about your day.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, kind of like, say, if that saying, if you read a book the second time, you pick up on different information than you did the first time. It's because your mind's conditioned a little bit differently, and you're picking up on different things.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I've got a book that I had to go through like 2 or 3 times. What is it? That Think and Grow Rich book? I've had to reread chapters like several times, and then every time I do, something else jumps out, because you're right. When you start changing the way you think, and what you read and what you feed your brain, your brain will start picking up the things that you need to keep going in that direction. And so things will just start popping out and make more sense, and you're like, why didn't I catch that the first time? Because your brain wasn't ready for it the first time, but now it is. So
it's funny you said that, because you said ready for it, because it says that in the book. Once you're ready for a thing, it would appear to you.
I know. The first time I was reading it, I was like, come on, man. I just jump off the page. I want to see what it is. So I'm like, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Obviously, I wasn't ready for it. I wanted to be ready for it.
Yes.
You know me. I was like, I want to be ready for it, but I'm not. And I find out later on that, hey, you weren't actually ready for it. But
yeah.
Because I'm just, you know how I am.
Yeah. That's just the way that book is set up, That's just the way that book is set up. It's set up to get you thinking. But I was paying attention to Bob Proctor the other day, and he had his copy of that book, and it was just falling apart, and it was just like, it was like a Bible he had read. Like he read it like every day for the past 50 years. That's how much book, And if I find it on YouTube, I'll send it to you. And he was just talking about just the power what's in that book. And I was like, wow, maybe I should read that again. So I've like kind of I was kind of studying another book, but I kind of broke off my study of that book just to kind of get back into the book. What I've always done with that, I have the audio, is I listen to the audio, right? I listen to it over and over again. And every time I listen to it, I pick up on something different. So I'm going to take out, I think it's like a 4 8-hour audio. Take out a couple days, and just all I do is just kind of, listen to it, take notes, and then I'll pick up a different meaning on everything from it, just because I'm different than I was 6 months ago. I'm different than I was a year ago, So reading now is going to be different than back then,
Yeah, absolutely. It's what? It's funny that you're saying that about the reading the books. One of your goals should definitely always be to read at least 10 pages or 10 to 15 minutes of some sort of personal development book, or something like that that's going to start changing your brain. Because when you like Jason's talking about being different from 6 months ago. I mean, did I meet you 6 months ago? And I don't remember when I met you, but
like 3 or 4 months ago.
Sometime in April.
April.
But just even knowing you from that short period of time or whatever, you know, I can see changes in you, and I know that, you know, you've seen changes in me from where I
Yeah.
was when I met you.
Yes.
And man, that is the power of reading these books or listening to audios or however you want to do it. I'm actually going to do the audios because sometimes I think that's easier. And I'm driving so much I can just pop them in or, you know, plug into my phone and do that. But that should definitely be one of your daily goals. And that's funny because I have the daily goals, but there are just some that are set, like reading for 10 minutes or listening to some sort of positive audio for 10 to 15 minutes. Usually I listen longer or I read longer just because I like to. In the beginning it wasn't like that. I just saw the weirdest thing go by, but that's okay. Woo! But yeah, you definitely need to make that part of your daily goal. So, you know, for me, it's blogging every day, reading my 10 to 15 minutes or 10 pages or more of an inspiring book or personal development book, and then listening to some sort of inspirational audio.
Yeah.
So those are my main goals, and then I'll put a few goals on top of those, like things I actually need to get done. So.
Yeah. I have the same kind of routine. I have. I read. I try to read every day. If not for an hour, like 10 minutes or between 10 minutes and half an hour. And then I listen to audios all the time. It's just my car is like a walking audio machine. It's just like a audiobook basically, right? And then plus the stuff that we have within the products that we carry. All that every day, and then I write too. So you know, blogging is part of writing. So you write every day also, and doing this stuff every day, it just kind of conditions your mind. For one, you if you're listening to something inspirational, you're always listening about somebody who went through something, maybe similar to what you're going through, and how they overcame from that to get to where they are now. So it's that counter example of saying, hey, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it. You know. I just have to apply myself, and I can do it. Let me get these skills, and I can do it. So it's that counterexample of where you are to where you want to be, and seeing other people do it. It's kind of that social proof type thing, you know, they talk about all the time.
Yeah.
It's that social proof, you know. Well, and that's what it is. If everyone else is doing it, well, I can do it too, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of conditioning yourself to say, okay, your mindset is kind of pointing in a certain direction to where you're going to be able to pick up on different things that's around you that you didn't notice before, like we mentioned with the books, you know.
Yeah. So, all right. I don't know how long this has been. Sometimes we get to rambling for like hours. But you want to wrap this up? We can do some little we can just do a rundown of kind of what we were talking about, like setting goals. So, you know, do your daily goals every day. Make sure that you have your get your reading in every day. If you have to blog them or write or do whatever your business is, you know, do that every day. Get some audio in every day, and inspirational audio, and then set like 3 or 4 goals or whatever you can handle, whatever you think you can handle. And you know what? If you can't handle all that one day, the next day, take one of those things off, or just, you know, make a list that's manageable for you, because it's just doing the little things, the small chunks, that's going to get you your end goal. And then another thing is when you're writing down your huge goal, make sure you put a date on it. You know, if it's something that you want like 3 months from now, a month from now, or whatever, just put a date on it, and then read that twice daily. And sometimes you'll find, and I know this to be true, that you'll get to that date and be like, oh, crap, you know, I didn't get there. I didn't make my goal. But don't change your goal. Change the date.
Yes.
You know, because you can still attain that goal. You might need a little bit more time to get there. And I've had setbacks where I've had to, like, reset, refocus. Okay, let's start this over again. And, you know, try again. But it's doable, you know, and the second time around, sometimes it's more doable because you're more focused on, like, crap, I didn't make it last time, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get to where I need to be. So, anyways, those are just a few tips. I don't know, Jason, do you have some? I had some other stuff written down, but obviously it's not in my car with me. It's at home. But go ahead. Do you have something else, and then we can kind of close this out?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, just, you know, because you put it so eloquently, I just wanted to add, you just be so excited about what you're doing. Just have excitement behind what you're doing, because enthusiasm is spreads, and it's contagious, right? And it keeps you excited about what you're doing, right? If you're not excited about what you're doing, you're not going to want to do it. If it's not fun, if it's not exciting to you, you're not going to want to do it. So stay excited about what you're doing. Just be happy about and grateful for what you have, and embrace the process, because it's all a process. And it's like just kind of in the workings of the system of things, right? We all have to go through some kind of struggle to gain victory, and everyone's struggle is a little bit different, but we've all gone through it. So just continue to just be that source of inspiration, not only for yourself but for the people around you, and you will see the results that you want by being consistent and taking action.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. we can end it there. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, wait, you forgot something. Aren't you supposed to say, hey, click my link. Click my link down there. You didn't do it.
You know what?
You to do it.
There's something just about what we were talking about that just, I don't know. You know, what it did was it just made this just appear out of nowhere. I just wanted to buy something, you know. I don't know why. Yeah. It just came out of nowhere and said, hey, I gotta buy something, you know. I gotta buy something.
That's right. Say it 7 times now.
You know what you do. What happens is in these messages, there's a lot of talk out there, and just a lot of stuff out there. But what should happen right now is just click the link below, enter your information, and then on the other side you'll see a video. And after that video, you just kind of put in your information, and you pull this out of your pocket. And then you get started. And it's very simple to do. It's very easy. We'll be there to help you along the way. Very easy to do. Very simple.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Talk to you guys
later. Next level.